In the history, there is a famous event that made US President Franklin D. Roosevelt declare that we will live forever in disgrace. So, which event was it? In this video, let's find out. And that was the attack on Pearl Harbor that happened on the morning of Sunday, December 7, 1941. It was a surprise military attack by the Japanese Naval Air Force against the US naval base at Pearl Harbor in the state of Hawaii. This attack led to the US subsequently deciding to engage in military action during World War II. It took place without a previous declaration of war by Japan. To understand this war clearly, let's take a look at the Prewar Situation. At that time, Japan had ambitions to dominate Asia and the Pacific, attacking US and British territories in Southeast Asia and the Pacific. Japan also openly threatened the Philippines, a country under the protection of the United States. This action of Japan prompted the United States to ban oil export to Japan. This forced the Germans to implement a plan to seize the petroleum production in the East Indies. Furthermore, the move of the US Pacific Fleet to its former base in San Diego to its new base at Pearl Harbor was seen by the Japanese military as preparation for a confrontational war between the two nations. With the above two reasons, Japan decided to attack first to win. And the option they chose was to attack Pearl Harbor in the air. If this war is successful, it will bring certain benefits to Japan. First, destroy the US fleet, prevent US from wanting to intervene in Japan to conquer the East Indies. Second, Japan will take the time to strengthen its naval power. Third, this attack would be a blow to the morale of the US people so that they would not interfere in the Japan's conquest of Asia. On the US side, although they were skeptical that Pearl Harbor would become a Japanese target, they believed that the Philippines would be the first target. And the case of Japan attacking two locations at the same time will not happen because Japan does not have the strength to do that. So the US military was subjective. One more thing that made the US passive because the Japanese fascists chose to attack on Sunday. Since on the weekends, many soldiers will go to the church or rest, they were less vigilant than other days. The Japanese Naval Air Force involved in the Pearl Harbor attacks used three main types of aircraft: Mitsubishi A6M Type 11 Zero Fighter, Nakajima B5N Type 97 Kate Torpedo Bomber, and IG-D3A Type 99 Vol Dive Bomber. The Japanese fascists carried out two attacks. The first wave would mainly attack the main force, while the second wave would complete the remaining work. For the first time, Japan used 189 aircraft, including 50 bomb-carrying Kates, 40 torpedo-carrying Kates, 54 Vols, and 45 Zeros, mainly carrying most of the weapons, focusing fire to launch on US warships and bases. While still 136 nautical miles from the target, the Japanese were detected by the US radar. But a terrible coincidence happened. It was at this time that the US base was also receiving a convoy of US Air Force bombers from the mainland. Therefore, even though the radar detected the enemy's aircraft, they misunderstood it as their own aircraft, so they did not take any action. At 7:55 a.m. in the morning of December 7, 1941, a Japanese bomber appeared in the sky over Pearl Harbor, followed by combat aircraft, all of which fiercely attacked the naval base, USA. The goal of the Japanese fascists was to attack battleships and aircraft parked at their air bases. The explosion of the bomb that shook the sky woke US soldiers in shock. Many people even suspected that this was an exercise, but it was not. While the US soldiers did not have time to react, the Japanese attacked the second wave. Only 1 hour after the first wave, with 171 aircraft with 54 Kate bombs and 81 bows, 36 Zeros to handle what was left over. Another funny thing happened that day. At 8 a.m., a group of 6 giant US B-17 flying fortresses that were expected to fly from the mainland had arrived, and a group of 6 other flying fortresses returning from the western airport of the archipelago were also about to land. When they saw many fighter aircraft flying in the air, they thought that the US Air Force was here to welcome them, so they were happy. But they were wrong. They had to face 2 rounds of bullets. The first was a hail of bullets from Japanese fighters. Second, the US military thought those aircraft were Japanese fighters, so they fired bullets from the ground. Those aircraft began to fly in chaos. Many were shot down, and many others rushed to find a place to land, full in the woods. At 9:45 a.m., all Japanese aircraft returned to the fleet, ending the attack. At this time, many Japanese generals proposed a third attack against fuel depot ship boxes at Pearl Seaport. After reviewing the situation, realizing that there were many disadvantages, they decided to withdraw, heading straight for the Japanese coast. At the end of the battle, the US suffered heavy losses. After only 90 minutes, 2,386 people were killed, 1,139 were injured, 18 ships were sunk and badly damaged, and 232 fighter aircraft parked at the airport were destroyed. As for the Japanese, they only suffered minor damage, with 55 pilots and 9 submariners killed. 29 fighters aircraft were lost and 74 others were damaged. This battle brought a glorious victory for Japan, but it was the main reason why Japan was defeated in World War II, because they angered the US military. 4 years later, they advanced the Pearl Harbor battle. The US dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing more than 200,000 people. Therefore, if Japan did not carry out the Battle of Pearl Harbor, maybe there won't be the most terrible nuclear explosion in mankind. And you, what do you think? Please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe for our channel.